Hello everyone, my name is Megan Rebello and I will be discussing the items that are necessary for a large whale entanglement rescue. So this whale in particular has been caught up in fishing line around its fluke region, which can hinder its ability to swim properly. So the checklist that is needed to respond to this type of rescue would be a larger boat with a smaller inflatable boat to get closer to the whale. Obviously, pen and pencils, so data collection can take place on behavioral and health assessments of the whale. Water for rescuers. Video cameras such as a GoPro to video the rescue and also to improve on ways that these whales can be rescued. Towels and wetsuits to protect rescuers and also to keep people dry. Helmets just in case something goes wrong, especially being that close to the back region of a whale. Gloves to prevent parasite and bacterial infections that whales might carry. Sunscreen and sunglasses to protect rescuers from the sun if they're out there for long periods of time. A laser photogrammetry system, which is used to measure whales that are moving, because it can be hard to measure whales while they are moving, so this helps to measure their length and their width and other necessary measurements. A hooked knife that is on a pole that is used to cut the fishing line off the whale without injuring the whale. A grapple hook can also be used to grab onto the fishing line so the inflatable boat can follow behind to try to cut off as much fishing line as possible. A mesh bag can be used to collect the fishing line when it is cut off so it does not entangle more species in the future. A handsaw as a second option can be used if the hooked knife is not working. Satellite buoys and transmitters are also important as they can help track the whale when the weather is bad or sea conditions are bad and the whale can become lost out of sight. It can be easily detected again with a buoy or a transmitter. And lastly, a dart gun as a sedative shot to slow down the animal and calm it down if it does seem to be stressed. So like I said, the necessities for rescuers would be a wetsuit to keep dry and protected, water shoes to protect feet, and obviously most likely will be getting wet, so those are good to have. A mask to protect yourself, especially with COVID and it being a marine mammal. Gloves to protect from parasitic infections and bacterial infections that the whale may be carrying. Sunscreen and water just in case you are in the sun for long periods of time, and most whale entanglements do take all day or even several days, so these are important to have. Helmets are also important to have because it can be dangerous with such a large whale of that size. In case you were to be hit or thrown off the boat, that is good protection. Sunglasses and head coverings are also important, again, when you're in the sun, and towels are also important if you are going to be wet all day, especially if it is cold outside. So some items needed for observer and data collection would be pencil, um, paper, and clipboards just to help keep everything organized. A GoPro to video everything and look back at how the rescue was handled. A clicker can be used to count respiration rates during the rescue. And the laser photogrammetry system is used to measure the whale when it is hard to do otherwise while it is moving. Rescue transportation would be larger boats that carry inflatable boats. so the inflatable boats can get closer to the whale without startling it as much, and it is just easier to follow the whale, especially when using a grapple hook to attach to the fishing line. Rescue gear is also very important. So like I said, on the left is the hook that is used to cut the rope off of the animal, and we also have the grapple hook that is used to grab onto the fishing line so the boat can follow behind and try to cut off as much as possible. A mesh bag can be used to collect as much debris and fishing line as possible so it is not creating a ghost fishing problem and entangling more whales and other species. And satellite tags and satellite buoys are also important in order to find the whale when weather turns bad and the water conditions are also bad and the whale becomes lost. And especially if the fishing line was not successfully removed, it is important to find the whale as soon as possible within the given days. Now, secondary options, if these options don't work, would be to have a handsaw, maybe if you can get close enough. If the um, hook breaks that is being used on the pole, then it is good to have these hand items, and the rope cutter also would be good to use in case things go wrong, and that is also a secondary option to use. And lastly is a dart gun or a sedative, which can be used if the whale is going crazy and is very stressed out and is putting rescuers in danger. This can help calm the animal down while trying to remove fishing line. And these are my resources. Thank you for listening.